Blake Axe Avignon, who, again, let's read his bio, ex-CAA. So when you hear Niccolo Piccolo Paradigm, well, guess what? Niccolo Piccolo's ex-Paradigm, right? CAA and Paradigm are like the two of the tippy-top fucking agencies, talent agencies. CAA is like the main one, was like the main one. I'm not sure if it's still considered. If you get signed with CAA, that's a big deal, though, okay? So Blake Axe Avignon, he talks about pro wrestling. He talks about MMA a lot, much like Niccolo Piccolo. I don't think he's as invested in Hollywood. Maybe he is. I don't know. I've never gotten to know him or talked to him. But Niccolo Piccolo, obviously very much engulfed in Hollywood as well as sports and entertainment. Well, people got triggered, and a bunch of the wackos, like a bunch of the people who take everything Nick says for gospel truth, look at a guy who's ex-CAA, W&K, GS&P, Octagon Sports Business, IP Brand Consulting, formerly, right? He does IP brand consulting. So Niccolo Piccolo does Rare Standard, and like it's up the same lane. And people don't really melt down on him, but wrestling fans and like WWE fans and TNA fans got mad at him because he was like, the sources are telling me that Anthem would sell for anywhere from 30 to 50 million, essentially, is all he said. It was not even a bad thing, but people got mad at him. And it is what it is. But Moose had this to say. Let's see here. Additionally, Anthem Lenz Asper has set a 30 million floor. His preferred price is 40 to 50 million. The premium reflects toxic debt on Anthem's books. Any buyer would be expected to absorb it. And then Blake follows up and says, additionally, multiple WWE sources indicated the toxic debt on Anthem's book is the primary reason why WWE isn't viewed as a buyer for TNA. WWE already has the TV reach, audience, and talent pipeline, etc. So we went over this. What would they do? Upload matches to YouTube? TNA already does that. It would just be TKO absorbing more debt. They don't want to do that. So this guy goes, this confirms what I've been saying about TNA. This is at Bear Down 316 says, this confirms what I've been saying about TNA using AMC money to pay down debts. They haven't been profitable since Anthem acquired them in 2017, but they've been keeping it alive, throwing money at it for almost a decade. Time to start paying that down. Those notes and markers are being called in now that they've got some money coming in. And then Moose says, hope you know Blake is making up and all you guys are reporting it to be true. Kind of hilarious and sad at the same time. And this guy goes, I haven't reported. Gerard says, I haven't reported anything, just posted about it on here. I aggregate and go with, oh my God, it's just a guy with a Twitter, Moose, who gives a, and I'm not going to listen to that guy explain how he's allowed, he has freedom of speech and can talk about whatever he wants to talk about on Twitter without it being a news report. So Blake Axe Avignon goes, at least tag me if you're going to talk about me. Funny that the only pushback I get is he's making it up, never an actual denial backed by anything. If Anthem wants to debunk this, open the accounting. Go on Caleb Hammer. Show the actual financials, especially with the AMC TV deal. Tone on Caleb Hammer. Deal in place. That should be a real boost to the P&L and overall cash flow. Let's see it reflected. Until then, trust me, bro, from a guy in the roster is just damage control with a verified check mark. So, yeah, I mean, people went hard on Blake, but he's just like, it's the same thing. Nick was just like, yo, WBD is trying to hook Tone up and let him know that it's probably not going to be a renewal or whatever. So go shop this around and set up your own little path. And then everybody melts down. It's like Blake's just doing the same thing. So, according to PWI, with the departure of Tommy Dreamer and TNA, Vice President of TV Production Eric Tompkins will be working hand in hand with Delirious on creative. One person described it as they would be co-heads of creative, but that wasn't 100% confirmed. There's been buzz about others being brought onto the team, making the rounds, but within TNA so far, nothing has been put in place in that regard. Speaking of that, Road Dogg Brian James, PWI follows up and says that he's expected to be at TNA Slammiversary this Sunday while the company is trying to keep it quiet. There's been talk of him coming in. It was said James was initially pitched as a potential producer, but since the departure of Tommy Dreamer, there are some who believe he may instead step into the creative circle. One source noted James has a close relationship with Johnny Russo, the head writer for NXT. So James coming on board would only be a positive for the NXT TNA relationship. Again, that's all allegedly. And so Blake follows up and says, I think for all the TNA fans and supporters who think I'm a hater, let me break down why I'm just an honest critic. Since landing the AMC deal, there's not much on the resume to show for it. No major signings, no standout creative direction, no new revenue streams, no key hires in operations or business development. Even talent retention has been shaky with recent departures rather than additions. Yeah, not to mention like the NXT stuff kind of just subsided and we haven't seen anything more from it. Any company landing a TV deal with guaranteed money should be putting that to work. A cash infusion usually means expansion. So if Road Dogg comes in, I mean, he's going to get paid more than Dreamer was, or at least the equivalent or more. So maybe that's an investment, but I'm there with him. This is what I was saying. He's just saying it more eloquently, way less F words. Investment in talent, sharper creative and stronger infrastructure provides a buffer to explore and push TNA's boundaries as a business and product. So far, that urgency hasn't shown up, and that should raise major concerns. But I mean, their ratings haven't been el terrible either, right? Like, I'm pretty sure their debut show was like 175K or some shit. And then they do like 200 and they've done upwards like 230K viewers. So it's there, man. Like there's people watching it and stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, as far as like, you know, they brought back Ash by Elegance. Okay. They lost the Rascals, brought Miguel back in. But realistically, they're only paying one of the 4 Rascals that they lost out to on Tone and shit. Like, so he's not entirely off there. They lost Tessa Blanchard. And then they had to come out with a coat post and be like, well, we were going to pay her more, but she walked away. Really? Were you? So speaking of Slammiversary and people who may debut, and we know Giovanni Vinci, what's his name? Fabian Eichner and Amazing Reds come back. So again, are these guys that are long-term investments like you're breaking the bank for? Not really. Is it kind of exciting? Sure. I mean, Eichner's just in a fucking 6-man, multi-man match in the X Division match, so I don't really know, but TNA will be debuting a former WWE talent this weekend at Slammiversary. The word making the rounds is the talent is a former multi-time singles champion, but nothing more has been heard beyond that. And it could just be Road Dogg. I think Road Dogg's won a singles championship a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, but this could be 2 rumors getting conflated, you know, and this could be the people leaking this to PWI, the way they're trying to keep the Road Dogg thing under wraps. But then they do, like, you know, feds will leak shit out. Hey, we're bringing in a WWE talent. And then the dirt sheets run around with it. It could just be Road Dogg for all we know, because this came out a day or two after those other reports. We move along. So according to Dave Meltzer, again, I don't know if we don't need full-blown flutes.
For, you know, the young superstar, you know, babyface, you know, that former heel thing. So
TNA has lost a lot of money, and Anthem could be looking to make their money back. And it's like great, astute observation here, Dave, stealing what Blake Avignon was saying. TNA's lost a lot of money, Brian, and I guess the Aspers, they except it's like actually it's like except they want Batman Nightfall Part 1. They want a way to sell it and make their money back. That's basically it, Brian. WWE can get it anytime they want it, but I don't know. WWE, they usually don't spend a lot of money, but the companies, to buy companies, they can get TNA, but I don't expect them to pay big money to get TNA, Brian. I'm not sure. This could be Brian. I'm not sure exactly what the contract works out. I don't know if they could sell to someone other than WWE. WWE certainly would have the right first refusal on a deal. So there's a lot of interesting things going around. I think that's Brian. It's the way it's worded. So yeah, I guess it's interesting. I'm not clamoring for WWE to buy TNA. I don't think that's the answer either, but yeah, I would be banging on the door like, hey, WWE, help us out a little bit more. Like, what the fuck? But I mean, their viewership is like growing. If technically from day one where they started till now, it's only gone up. And just looking at past trends and past history, if it were to repeat itself, they have the potential to do 400,000 viewers for TNA on there. And maybe it is a gradual climb. And I'm just being impatient about it because I thought the wars were really going to heat up. But If it's a gradual climb for them to reach Collision numbers, when we get there, we get there. Collision's going to end up on YouTube. So then who's really kicking ass, right? Lincoln Hawk for 5 as the local resident long-term TNA hole here. This is what TNA does every 7 or 8 years. It's a known cycle. Exactly. It's like fucking Time Cop, dude. It's like we've seen this all before, you know? And a lot of people, I will say this, dude, and thank you for the super chat. A lot of people are fucking talking about TNA right now leading into Slammiversary, so that's all but a good thing, no? They say no press is bad press, and maybe they've gotten some bad press, but maybe it makes people excited to tune in and be like, what kind of shit show is this going to be? Or I might buy this pay-per-view to fucking live tweet about it and see what type of, what type of title action they have going on or title changes, because all the belts are on the line. Who knows? But people are talking about TNA. And if Tone swoops in and buys TNA, it's cooked. It's as cooked as Nuge. It's as cooked as ROH. But Matt Hardy shed some light here. And Cultaholic, quote Matt Hardy from The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, says, even when Carlos Silva came in with TNA was pretty in the hole. You know what I mean? Whenever Carlos started, so he's been trying to, dig out of that. And he has done a great job of digging out of it. There have been many sacrifices he's had to make to try and make the company, turn it into a profitable deal. Now, guys, remember, so his job, what Matt Hardy's saying was his job is to make it profitable with the AMC deal. So maybe it wasn't as profitable as they thought, but it was close to. And of course, they lined their pockets with it a little bit. The Aspers or, the bigwigs, but maybe not as much. And they weren't able to get rid of all of that toxic debt, quote unquote. But remember this, Scott D'Amore was going to give them $10 million for it and absorb the debt. So obviously it's just like a money play for them right now, which is fine. I mean, they're in the wrestling business, and TNA definitely parlayed the popularity of all of wrestling, mostly WWE, but all of wrestling, into this TV deal. And maybe it didn't pay off the way they thought it would. And Carlos Silva, you either love him or hate him. If the whiny bitch shit behind the scenes is true, then yeah, he seems like a dork. I don't just hate the guy because people are like, oh, he's in a cuck chair and he fucking hands the titles to people. Like, I don't hate him for that. And he's awesome and professional in interviews. But yeah, we need to see more motion. And it seems as though even though he's all up in the forefront of the creative aspect, like we're sitting here thinking like, oh, he's the Tony Khan, he's like the face of their creative and shit. It's really more his approach is from the business aspect. Whereas it's not that Scott D'Amore's wouldn't be the business aspect, but obviously it's more of his love and knowledge of professional wrestling and his creative endeavors that keeps him. Like Scott D'Amore could fucking retire and live on a beach, take his boats out and shit for the fucking, he doesn't need to do this, but he fucking started MLP, got them a deal on TSN. Like he's in it to win it. He loves wrestling. So, and he's obviously got a mind for it. So anyways, Matt Hardy just says, look, I think he's doing things the best that he can do for them with his limited knowledge of pro wrestling in some ways, if I can say it, but he does have a pretty good support team around him. And I think that's getting ready to grow even a little more. And so Matt Hardy follows up and says, Carlos was hired for the position to do one, dig TNA out of debt, 2, streamline company costs and expenses, 3, get the company on a bigger TV platform, 4, get to the point where TNA is becoming profitable. He's been working tirelessly, and every one of these tasks are challenging. Carlos is getting things done and succeeding on all these goals. The core group at TNA, I should have read it like Matt Hardy. Yes, the core group at TNA is going to keep doing what we do. Work hard, grind away, and make TNA as great as it can be before it's deleted. Yes. So there you go. Matt Hardy following up and just confirming, and he would fucking know. Silva was brought in there not to be like, oh, the Rascals, and we got a fucking match with AJ Styles. Best guys, Tony Khan. I don't know why I hit Tony Khan there, but, he wasn't brought in to do that shit. He was brought in to just make them money and fucking get them out of debt before they try and sell the fucking thing. So it would be nice. Anthem would like to get rid of that debt, be profitable, and then sell the shit off, because then it's worth way fucking more on the upswing. And then they actually like make money off the flip. Or we also don't know like how much the Aspers have like sunk into it. Like we don't know, right? Like obviously if the 30 million from AMC didn't get them out of the debt, let's say the debt was 50 million or whatever the rumors are, it's not like, well, they paid off 30 million of it. No, they did take some of it, I'm sure, and put it back into the company, but I'm sure they took some and padded their bank accounts a little bit, because that's what you do. And then you also you also keep the debt there in order to like get certain breaks on certain taxes and business moves and stuff like that. So it's all about the game and how you play it. It's all this billionaire shit that we're all just like, can someone rich just give me 500K and I'll, you know what I mean? We're all just like, what the fuck? I fucking rent my place. I would I've been working my fucking ass off my whole life. What the fuck? The economy's in the shit. We're all like worrying about 30 million. I mean, that ain't shit, really. That's so funny. And so Tommy Dreamer made some statements, and I guess the word is that Tommy Dreamer's statements are not accurate. Dreamer did not want to build contenders, and in fact had control of who got pushed. So he had control of who is getting pushed. So that's why earlier in the show, Time Cop, we talked about these people accusing Dreamer of shit. And it's like, well, maybe they legit were worried because they're on the indies and they want to get a job at TNA, you know? The belief is the culture will change for the better backstage there. The feeling is that the booking and creative wasn't good and change was needed, especially with the bigger platform of AMC this year. So he was at the helm of it, man. Maybe Road Dogg, Diggity Dog. Maybe him and Delirious can turn the whole thing around and they're doing 400,000 viewers. Who fucking knows? It's not like they're falling off completely, but TNA is discussing adding another championship to its lineup. Sources indicate the current concept is a women's mid-card title with a women's tournament also planned for July. I say don't do it. Don't do it, man. Everybody's got too many fucking titles, you know. Just
you what?
That's sexist. Okay, sorry, but you have your Knockouts title. You had Tessa Blanchard having matches that didn't need a title, and they were singles women's feuds that were over. You have your tag titles. Like, people don't understand. Adding more women's titles is more participation trophies. Okay? You don't fucking need to do that. But anyways, I just thought this is funny because it's very Canadian. Okay? And I don't know if you guys have Sandmans. Are there Sandman hotels in the USA? Or is Sandman just a Canadian thing? Okay, there are Sandmans in the US, but it is a Canadian-based hotel group. But they have several premium US locations, primarily in Texas and California. Well, let me tell you this right now, bud. Sandman hotels are rough, buddy. Oh my God. Dude, in fucking Canada, Sandman hotels are fucking rough. Okay?
Exactly, no pop.
And they got some pretty shitty ratings. Look up like Sandman hotel review ratings and shit. They're probably mostly 3 and below. And the last time I went to a Sandman was fucking years ago. Okay? And I remember the water slide was shitty. Yeah, it was years ago. I actually don't really remember it. Maybe I'll give them another chance. No. Your boy Phil has sworn off Sandmans and have never returned in like a decade. But TNA Wrestling is proud to welcome Sandman Hotel Group as the official hotel partner of 2026 TNA Canada Tour. Fans will have the chance to win an exclusive sweepstakes featuring a 3-night stay at a Sandman Hotel, dining, gift cards, and signed Hardy Brothers memorabilia. Stay tuned for full contest details and join us as we bring the action of TNA Wrestling to Brampton, Edmonton, and Calgary through 26. It's funny because I don't know. I would just be like, can I not get the 3 nights at the Sandman and just take like a cash prize, the equivalent in fucking cash? Oh my goodness. People were making Sandman memes as well, like the wrestler. So TNA Slammiversary is coming up. Okay, guys, and all the titles are on the line. They're even talking about debuting some other titles. And as you guys can see here, we got 369. Damn, you're fine. Gonna suck it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low to the window, to the wall, to the wall. Yeah, to this one. So Slammiversary is this Sunday, and it's on at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I think it overlaps for a little bit with NXT Great American Bash. And then obviously that will overlap a little bit with Forbidden Door. We are going to preview Slammiversary here. So we have the Elegance brand versus Rosemary and Allie for the Knockouts titles. Now, I think Allie and Rosemary will get the dub, although the Elegance brand, I like them. And I'm all good if they are draped in gold. I'm all or silver, I guess. I'm all down with that. Sosa is there to fight Eric Young. Now, obviously, Sosa is going to get the win, and this is huge for Sosa. Bang, bang. Sosa. And this is huge for him to be on this pay-per-view and also just getting a dub over Eric Young. He's a vet. He'll learn him a lot while he's in there, and that's sort of Eric Young's role right now. You put people over, and I just don't know if like this is the most compelling matchup, but it is what it is. AJ Francis is taking on Elijah again. It's always money with Top Dollar. Elijah is looking shredded. They've been telling a story, and it's very WWE-ish. And AJ Francis is like, I own the rights to Elias or Elijah, and I own the rights to this and all of this shit. So it is what it is. They're doing the damn thing. AJ Francis, there's no fluke. It's not a fluke that he's on every fucking pay-per-view. He's on every card. There's a reason for that. Eddie Edwards takes on Moose, like System versus X System or whatever. I mean, that's the most TNA matchup. Those guys are fucking bleeding TNA through and through. I don't really care about this matchup. I don't know. I'm not the biggest like Eddie Edwards fan. I've always said that. I like Moose, but then you have Lei Ying Lee, Xia Lee, taking on Xia Brookside for the Knockouts title, and I think Lee will retain. Again, I'm not locking in my picks yet. I'll do that the night of. I think Lee will, or the day of, I guess, will retain, but if they did put it on Brookside, I mean, it's just like she doesn't need it yet, but then again, like, well, when does someone need it? Shake things up, you know, and Brookside rules, but I just think they're kind of still building her up. Like she just kind of split off and is like making a name for herself truly. So we'll see with that. Mustafa Ali has an open challenge. So will that be the ex-WWE guy? Like someone's going to show up. They sign somebody or they're bringing someone in for a one-off. And we'll see what happens. I'm assuming there's a former WWE talent who will be there. I'm assuming it'll be something to do with Ali. So the System are taking on the Hardys and are taking on the Righteous in a 3-way ladder match, which of course will turn into TLC. Like I'm sure tables and shit will get involved. And of course, this is what TNA does. This is what every Fed does. The Hardys have done this with numerous other tag teams to get them over. The Bucks, the Wolves, Bubba and Devon did the fucking TLC with they did it with the Wolves, and they fucking, you know, like this is what you do. You take these tag teams and whatever, the Hardys, the Dudleys, whatever Fed they're in, the Hardys did it with the Bucks and ROH. Tone is going to do this shit. Like Dave was fantasy Mark booking this, but he was actually just stooging it. Then he was listening to PWT and Fears Phil Marks and went on his fucking show and was like, I didn't actually know this. I was just assuming it would be just the most specific match ever, a 3-way TLC for the fucking tag titles. Like, okay, Dave, we know Tone told you what was going to happen. But yeah, Slammiversary getting to it before All In, right? The Hardys versus the Righteous versus the System. I could see Brian and Bear, Myers and Bronson getting the fucking belts here. It could be the Righteous's time. Or this is a way you have the Hardys retained so that there's a Hardy party at the big event and they don't have to pin anyone, then they can eventually get pinned. But I think the Hardys have had the titles for long enough to where if you just put it on the Righteous for a bit, like any of these teams could win these shits, but I think it would work good for Myers and Bear, the System. I think that would be the way to go. And so the Ultimate X match, so far there's 7 guys in it, which means a mystery guy, knowing TNA, a mystery guy could show up for that match too. What the fuck's his name? Elegance. Mr. Elegance. We have Amazing Red. We have Cedric Alexander. We have Slater. We have Navarro. And we have Kazarian. So I could see Navarro pulling this off. I don't think Red will get it, even though he's returning for this show. I just think that's like to pop the crowd because it's Slammiversary. I don't think Kazarian needs it. Slater's obviously out of there and going to WWE. So he ain't going to win it. Elegance, again, I just don't think he needs a title. Eichner maybe could steal it. Alexander, it's always a possibility right now, especially with like the whole System, like his whole run that he's on and shit. So we'll see. Like, it's an interesting match because anybody could really win this, but I just don't think Slater or Kazarian or Elegance are going to win it. But the other guys possibly. I don't think Red will either. But if he did, don't be shocked because they like gave him that vignette and it is Amazing Red. And even if he just held it for a short time, had some matches with some guys, well, they sort of established a couple guys, who knows? Maybe Amazing Red isn't even going to be there for a while, but he's a TNA OG. And then you have Santana versus Nemeth. And again, I think even if Santana was staying in the company, but we know he's going to WWE. It's been spoiled and stooged, and he's going there. I think Nemeth would still win the shit. I think the plan all along was Nemeth will eventually take it from Santana, and then even if the feud continued or the story continued and down the line they met each other again, I think that's just where you go with it. Nemeth was a net positive as champion, and it's just sort of time to get him back in that position because we know he can make people. And Santana's great, but if his deal's coming up, and I believe it is, he will be an NXT / I bet they'll start him in NXT for a bit, but he'll make his way to the main roster. He'll be in AAA and shit like that. So I think Santana drops that title. And it's in Boston. Get in the car, head to Boston at the Garden. And check that out. And they added more seats. So I don't know how many they fucking sold, but not a lot, though. I don't think for this Slammiversary. Like, I think it's like 2,000 people or some shit. So we'll see. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA News and the Slammiversary preview.